A good breathing drill that you can do throughout the day, whether you're driving or working, if you sit at a desk all day, is just a seated breathing and looking at, are you able to breathe properly using this diaphragm, going 360 degrees into the chest, into the abdominal wall, kind of where is that breath coming from, okay? So what all I'm going to do on this one is I'm just going to sit here, try to sit in a position where you're somewhat close to 90-90, okay? Your first thought is just to take a look at rib cage position. How is the ribs position? Are you someone that's more extended, ribs are flared? Are you someone that's hunched forward into that posture? And trying to be up tall, but at the same time, you want to work on keeping that rib cage properly positioned right over the pelvis, okay? As opposed to being open. So your first thing to do here is take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. As you exhale, you should be able to feel that rib cage compressing down, okay? From there, I just want to slightly use the abdominals and obliques just to hold that rib cage in position. So as I inhale again, I'm not expanding, opening up, and going into this arch position, okay? So I'm holding that position here, which makes, again, spine more of a neutral alignment rather than this increase in lordosis or that extension at the spine. And then I'm holding my rib cage down. I'm going to find just inside the bony prominence here, the ASIS, I'm going to find, kind of slide just inside that, and as I breathe in, I want to see, is there any movement going on down there? Because what we tend to find is, especially in the seated position, a lot of people working at the desk all day, very overactive at the shoulders, the chest, and the neck, is they tend to raise their shoulders a lot to breathe in as everything is pulling superiorly rather than breathing into that diaphragm and then abdominal wall. So I'm just going to audit that and just put my hands just inside and see, is anything happening? Is there pressure pushing out into my fingers, okay? I can also put my hand across on my chest or even across my shoulders and see, you'll be able to note right away, am I really overactive through this chest and through the neck, okay? So just looking at that first. Next thing, and as I try to promote my breath, rib cage down, breathing into this lower abdominal wall, I'm going to check laterally. We want our abdominal wall and our chest to expand 360 degrees. We don't want to just breathe through the belly here. We need to breathe all the way around equally throughout the abdominal wall and the chest. So I'm going to just check in right to the side. I'm going to find rib cage, find pelvis. I'm going to drop right in the center of that, okay? So same thing, staying tall. Exhale, rib cage comes down, abdominals, obliques, holding that position. Fingers, thumbs, whatever's comfortable, right on the outside. So as I breathe in, feeling, am I actually pushing pressure out into that abdominal wall? And then a big thing to notice, once you really get those positions, you're breathing in the front, you're breathing in the side, you're expanding, you're not too overactive up in the chest and the neck, is as you exhale, are you maintaining some or just a light amount of pressure, okay? Because as you exhale, you don't want to be able to all of a sudden push right through like it's mush, okay? You want some pressure through that abdominal wall the entire time, some tone in those muscles, so you always have some kind of intra-abdominal pressure to really stabilize and support the spine. Again, if you're someone that's sitting back against a chair, obviously we don't need as much pressure in the system because we're stabilized from an external source, but if you're upright here, we need some of that to keep a nice rigid spine and really support, okay? So that's what I'm going to check is, am I breathing laterally? Am I breathing through the front? And just to see through here, just so you can see those points, I'm finding bony prominences in the front. I'm going to dip in just inside that point. So now I'm on, you can think of kind of that lower abdominal area, okay? And then comparing that abdominal area versus chest. But that's a very good audit to do just to look at how you're breathing in the seated position. See what challenges you have, whether it's rib cage, anteriorly, laterally, you're very overactive through the chest, through the neck, and then just really start to really focus on, okay, can I get my breath to go equally through the chest, through the abdominal wall, getting a little feedback from yourself and seeing, okay, can I push into that position to get my diaphragm to really work, to really come down as I inhale to feel some pressure through the abdominal wall.